You know, everything. I mean, somebody was just now, as I was coming, was talking about, you know, that she'd lived in Paris. And said, well, of course, Oscar Wilde died there. I said, yes. And, you know, his best friend came and said, Oscar, you're living beyond your means. And he said, no, I'm dying beyond my means. And then he looked around the room and said, either I or that wallpaper has to go. And it was he who went, of course. Even on his deathbed, he was making people laugh. He was so courageous and so extraordinary. And, of course, his last years were pitiable. I mean, he wrote 11 plays, most of them rubbish. Vera and the Nihilists, The Duchess of Padua, hopeless. And he's remembered really for 5 plays. One which he wrote also in French, Salome, which he wrote for Sarah Bernhardt. And it actually sounds better in French than it does in English. And the only reason that Salome has lived is because it provided the libretto for the wonderful opera by Richard Strauss. So then there were 4 plays, and the first was Lady Windermere's Fan, an enormous success. Bernard Shaw always thought Lady Windermere's Fan was his best play. Certainly it's a very popular play. And when I did it here with the incomparable Dixie Carter, it was a massive sellout. And then he followed that with A Woman of No Importance, another big play set in a country house in England with duchesses and lords and so on. And then his third play, An Ideal Husband, set in this grand house with the most successful politician in England giving a great party. And then suddenly there's this last small play, which is the most brilliant of them all. And it stands on a peak of its own, The Importance of Being Earnest, because nobody's ever matched it. Nobody. And can, because there's not a word in it that is superfluous. It's amazing. It's like a jewel.